Hey, good morning, team. I hope all of you are having a great week. Happy Tuesday. It's not a nice day out. Rainy, some thunderstorms, but hey, I just hope you're having a good week and everything's going well. I just want to kind of talk about last week and the awesome things that happened. Um, so last Wednesday, we launched our Wednesday night large gathering. I probably talked about this in our last meeting, but it went really well. It was a great start. So thank you to all of you who invest in middle school students. It was a blast. I loved it. It was a great start to our year, and I'm looking forward to many weeks ahead and months ahead of just interacting with these students and helping them take their step in their journey. Whether it's know God, find freedom, discover their purpose, or even to make a difference on our dream teams. So, with that said, going into the weekend, I felt like we had once again a great middle school group experience. Um, I really just love the time that we have together to serve together and just to make a difference in these students' lives. Um, High school team at 12:30, great job. I feel like we're getting better with our environment. I feel like we're building a more intentional space to really connect with students. Probably it's a little different than what we've done before in the past, but I really like it. And yes, we don't have many students, but what I love about this season that we're in is we're launching a whole new system. So it's pretty much starting from square one. And I just love seeing you as leaders really just invest in the students and really engage them with the time that we have. And so thank you so much for serving in our high school groups. And I just can't wait for the months ahead to watch it grow, to watch students be challenged, and to connect on a whole deeper level than we have ever before. And I really think that's what this model that we're doing is really gonna force us to do. First of all, as leaders, it's gonna force you to really build healthy relationships with the students. I'm not saying that we couldn't before, but just the way this model works is you go to service together, you dive right into eating lunch together, having that community, which I think is super important, and then we dive right in to discussion questions. And it's definitely a lot more community-based, relationship-based, and as leaders, you're going to have to be really good at investing in those students that we have now. And I guess all across the board, all the way from middle school to high school groups, I just want to challenge you leaders. Our new system that we're running is really all on you as the group leader. It's really all on our group leaders to really invest in the students. You got to take ownership of your group. And the way I want to put it today to help you understand the vision is that imagine you are running an adults group, like the groups that we have for our main service in our main church. Imagine that you're running the group. I want you to treat it as if it's your group and you're owning it. So that means you really have to invest in the students that are there, and you have to go where they are, and ultimately you got to go support them at their events. And I know it's a lot because I know that you guys have families, and I totally understand that. And I talked to most of you about that, and you know how I am about family. I say God and family is first priority, but if we want to see our student ministries get to a place and to a healthy place with just making an impact in students' lives, we're going to have to get outside the church. Before, our old model was always telling students to come here, and this new model is forcing us out because it's just more relationship-based. It's not like program or big event-based like we had before with high school and maybe middle school. It's a lot more relationship building. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that on our all-leader meeting, October 7th at the 9 a.m. service. I'm going to talk about 5 pillars on how to be a great leader in general. And it's part of our initial leader doc, actually. We don't go over that a lot, and that's why we really want to introduce it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that at that meeting. But I really want to share something with you to kind of help you understand through Scripture kind of our vision and why we do what we do with this new model. And it's Luke 15, and a lot of you probably know what Luke 15 is. It's the parable of the lost sheep. So I'm going to read it to you. It says, tax collectors and other notorious sinners often came to listen to Jesus teach. This made the Pharisees and teachers of religious law complain that he was associating with such sinful people, even eating with them. So Jesus told them this story. If a man has 100 sheep and one of them gets lost, what will he do? Won't he leave the 99 others in the wilderness and go to search for the one that is lost until he finds it? And when he has found it, he will joyfully carry it home on his shoulders. When he arrives, he will call together his friends and neighbors, saying, rejoice with me, because I have found my lost sheep. In the same way, there is more joy in heaven over one lost sinner who repents and returns to God than over 99 others who are righteous and haven't strayed away. Now that's super powerful, because what that's saying is this story, and Jesus is talking about us doing ministry in a way, and he's talking about how he is for that one lost sheep. That's what he's talking about. It's a parable of that. And in our past programs, for instance, let's take high school Mondays. Okay, it was event based. It was very like, hey, come to church, come here. I felt like it was more inner focused and not outside focused. And what he's saying is, there will be more rejoice in heaven for one lost sinner to come to know God than 99 righteous people who have never strayed away. And that's really our mission. I think that's so important to understand, is because we have to go outside this church. And I'm doing the best I can to lead that. Going to games, partnering with schools. And I just want to challenge you as leaders. And I know I've talked to many of you about this. I know I talk about this a lot. And maybe you feel like I'm drilling you with the whole go where they are. But I really do mean that, because if somebody, to add my own personal story to it, if the people who impacted me when I was in high school, if they didn't come to my games and go where I was at, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be sitting here today. And that's so powerful to me, and that's what really drives the passion of this part of ministry for me, because I realized that if my friend Brandon never came over to my house and built a relationship with me, and if he never would have played football with me at our, in our neighborhood, or went to my football game, the chances of me really investing and trusting that relationship is very slim. And just because, I'm not interested. I was looking for someone to care for me, and he really showed me that he cared. And on top of that, when I met my youth pastor when I was in high school, to see him come to my games, and just how cool it was to hear him say, hey, great job. It just felt really good that somebody outside of my family cared for me. And I knew there was something more to that, and it made an impact in my life. And a lot of you have the same exact story. Somebody came outside of their church walls and invited you. And we have to do the same with students. We have to show the students that are here inside the church, right, that we love them. Of course, the ones that are here, we want to disciple them. But ultimately, we want to follow them to their events to look for their friends who do not come to this church. We want to go to their schools and to see the students that are already here with their friends, to help invite them into our ministry, and to help them come and be a part of groups, and to feel this love that they've never experienced before. And I really want my leaders to have a passion for that. And I really want to challenge you. I want that to be your main focus. Like I said, yes, it's important, the students that we have here, it's important to build them up, right? That's what we're called to do, to walk with them, to shepherd them. And we're going to do that. That's what groups is for. That's what discussion's for. But we also want to get outside, go where the students that are already here, where they're at in their sports and whatever activities they're in, find their friends and say, hey, how you doing? I know so-and-so, and I would love for you to join us at our events. And I know a lot of you are already doing that, but I want that to be a constant reminder. I want that to be the constant thing that you think about when you're out and about in our community, is looking for students to impact. And I think that's so important, especially with our new structure that we're in. If you really want to gain traction in your groups, you have to take ownership in it. You have to be willing to go out. And I know it's a sacrifice, and I know it's a lot, but Jesus calls us to sacrifice. He calls us to get outside of our comfort zone. And if you need help with that or any ideas, I want you to come to me, because I have possible opportunities for us to get in schools that I can't reach right now, just because I already committed to a school that I'm at right now, that I'm investing in. And I just really challenge you with that. And that's kind of the scripture I just want to share with you today. And I really want you to take that into your, whether it's middle school large gathering tomorrow, Wednesday night, or it's the middle school groups on the weekend, or it's the high school groups. I really want you to take that and remember that, and always remember in your groups to always look to get outside of this church and to take those students that you have in your groups with you, or follow them wherever they're going. So that's all I have for you. I just want to give you a few updates. Like I said, let me look at my calendar before I forget. Our all-leader meeting is coming up for October. And, so October 7th, 9 a.m. We're having our all-leader meeting, and I'm going to go over the 5 pillars of how to be a great leader, which is actually part of our initial leader doc. And honestly, I might even make copies to give to you guys, so you have something to look to if you have any questions or you forget. And I think that's important, and I've done not such a great job maybe equipping you, so I hope this helps. So all leader meeting coming up. And then for you middle school leaders, remember, always talk to your students about Fusion Camp, and then student night, which is coming up. Student night is going to be, let me look, it's December 12th. It's a Wednesday, which it looks like I already have it in my calendar. So student night, December 12th. It is on Wednesday now, which is awesome for you middle school leaders that you get to go because it's a Wednesday. So you'll be serving anyways. So really invite your students, remember, for middle school. Student night, Fusion Camp. High school leaders, when you interact with your students, remember to always talk about student night, December 12th, and winter retreat, which is coming up in February. We're getting the brochures around. We're a little behind on that, so we're going to try to get those out by October, middle of October, end of October, to really start handing out to our students to get them signed up for winter retreat. So high school, student night, and winter retreat. And, I hope you guys are having a great week. That's all I have for you. Oh, one other thing, real quick. We try to do a pre-huddle. So for you middle school group leaders, I would love for you to be here, 20 minutes to 15 minutes early. I know some of you, I understand you have some things going on, but 20 to 15 minutes before, Wednesday night. So 6:45 would be great if you can be here by 6:45. And then also on the weekend, if you're coming to the 5:15 and serving in groups, I would love for you to be here by like 5 o'clock, 5:05. If you're serving at the 10:45, I would love for you to be here by 10:30, 10:35, so we can get our group huddle going. And honestly, for high school, I didn't even get to organize it this past weekend just because we were everywhere. I really want to make that a priority to get a kind of a group around and pray before we go and serve students. So for high school, if you're serving at the 12:30, I would love for you to be here by 12:15, 12:20. And that would be great. That would give us enough time to kind of get a pre-huddle, just to pray, talk about what we're going to be doing. And yeah, so I hope you guys are all having a great week, and I will see you sometime this week or the weekend. Peace.